I'll talk a little bit first. All right, hello everyone. So welcome to another episode of Huobi Live, where we bring projects, influencers, traders, and KOLs to share their knowledge with our Huobi community. And at the same time, we want to build a bridge between these two parties, and hopefully this relationship can go far beyond the crypto space. And if you haven't noticed that we do have a live stream going on almost every other evening. It's an evening for me because we are in the GMT 8 time zone. So it's in the evening for me, but depending on where you are, these streams will be happening as well, but do check out on your local time zone. So if you haven't, do subscribe to the different streams available. Most of the streams will be up a couple of days before they go live, and you're able to subscribe and you'll get notifications when the streams are coming up. So in today's stream, we got guests from a Nest protocol. So our guest from Nest protocol is a product manager of Nest, and we'll be talking about Nest protocol, what they do, how their project, what their project is about, and all those DeFi stuff. And at the same time, we'll be having some giveaways of with Nest tokens throughout the live stream. So do stay tuned for that. If you are looking to get the airdrops, don't leave halfway because you might just miss out the airdrops. So without further ado, we have Ricky here. So Ricky, thank you so much for coming to Huobi Live. Can you please give our audience a short introduction about yourself? What do you do in Nest protocol? And how does your work contribute to the protocol as well?
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Ricky. I'm the product manager of Nest. What I do is basically I'm adjusting the financial and mathematical models for Nest protocol. And I also just speak about the Nest protocol to introduce the Nest protocol to everybody.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Nest protocol. I think you guys started in 2018 December. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So so what does Nest protocol do? So we do know that there are many protocols out there that solves a problem, right? There must be a problem, and then these protocols comes in as a solution. So what is one of the problems that Nest protocol solves for the DeFi space, or maybe in the crypto space as a general use of case?
The DeFi is to move the traditional finance market to decentralized one, right? The most important thing is how to pricing the assets. So in traditional financial markets, we're pricing exchange assets. They can trade have their order books, right? So if the order book has many order books, they will decide what is the proper price for every assets. But sometimes when an asset don't have a good let's say liquidity, then it's very hard to decide the price. So what Oracle do is to upload the price information of all the assets, so everybody can quote in the assets price from the Oracle when they want to trade them, when they want to buy them or sell them. That's basically what Oracle do.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about oracles, right? So you explained that oracles are basically it's something you insert into a smart contract. Is that right? Then it will pull out the price from the market itself. So this makes it a little bit more efficient because, like you mentioned, sometimes DeFi, they are not very efficient because some prices might be a little bit different on a certain DeFi protocol, and prices can be different on another DeFi protocol as well. So is that what Nest protocol is trying to solve, where you can pull prices that are more accurate in that sense?
Well, Nest protocol trying to do is to make the price information flow stabilized.
Right.
When we're trading some assets, like in not stabilized markets, like many people want to sell it, many people want to buy it. there are the two powers competing with each other, right? Buying power, selling powers, and the price can be very unstabilized, which brings the market risks. So what next to do is we want to creating a pure decentralized way to decide what the price is of all the assets. So basically, the idea is we want to make sure the price information. So basically, the idea is generalized. We want to make sure the price information. So basically, not like the traditional markets. In the traditional financial markets, we have an order book, right?
Yeah.
If you want to buy an asset, you put the order book. If you want to sell some assets, you put the order book. And the exchange are the intermediaries. They fighting the buying ones and the selling ones to make them trading with each other. But sometimes this will creating a huge price jump. And sometimes if the exchanges, they want to cheat, that's also possible. So right. The idea is to decentralizedly generate the price.
Right. That's cool. So personally, I do have some I'm involved in some DeFi protocols, or I'm using some DeFi protocols that rely on oracles to pull prices, right? So I think in the current trend, we have DeFi protocols that are doing synthetic stocks. So you're able to buy a decentralized Tesla share, you're able to buy a decentralized Microsoft share. But something I realized that, like you mentioned, the prices are not accurate because sometimes the prices are like 10% higher as a synthetic stock, and sometimes it's much, much lower. It can be minus 20% on the synthetic market as well. So I think that is where NES will come in to really solve this problem and make the price a bit more stable. I won't say stable, but a bit more accurate in that sense, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I hope everybody understand a little bit more about what NES does right now. So let's talk about the NES team. So how was the team formed? Like were you guys like a friend? Was the founder like a group of friends, or were they like, oh, you know what, we're gonna do this, and then everyone just went on together?
Well, at the beginning, we was trying to make a stack projects, right? Mm-hmm. But when you do everything like a DeFi, as we mentioned before, the DeFi 1.0 was like just they want to move the order books from the exchanges to the chain. In this way, they will cost gas quite a lot. That's not gas saving. Actually, it's wasting resources. So what we're trying to do is make some shifts, some changes to the DeFi world. Maybe we can decide the price much better. So we had the Uniswap, what they call the model, the automatic market maker model.
Yes, right. AMM, yes, automated market maker.
That's big improve because they don't have to use the market book, so we don't need everybody to like start a smart contract and upload their informations. It's much easier. However, if you want to trading something like just a small amount of the assets, if the asset pool, the depth is not deep enough, then the price will change dramatically. So right. In this case, we have to make sure the pool has enough depths, which raise another question. In order to sell or buy some assets, we have to put a lot of assets in the assets pool. That's also resource wasting. So what we're trying to find a better way to decide the price. Then we come to an Oracle project, because that's the basic project for every DeFi project.
Right. So your team actually like they thought through a lot of things before coming up with a project, which I think is really good because a lot of projects or a lot of protocols right now, right? It's like everyone's like, let's make a project. Everyone's just making new projects, but some projects do not solve any problem. They are just like they're just out there. Out there, just being out there, right? And then you have a coin, you have a token, let's go buy it. You're gonna make a 10x from it. You're gonna make 100x, things like that. So
I know.
So I think that is pretty interesting that you guys actually thought through the whole process of how you would want to start a project. So I think we have to do a quick airdrop right now. So we are gonna begin the airdrop. So for the first airdrop, I think we are dropping roughly 20,000 nests for the first round. So the airdrop is gonna start now. If you guys are watching the stream on Huobi Live, please go grab the gift box. You're gonna get an airdrop of nest tokens, compliments of the team nest. Thank you so much. All right, so moving on. So we all got the first airdrop. So we're going to move on to the next few questions. I think it's going to be very, very interesting today because not many projects are involved in oracles, right? So I think one of the biggest one we have is Chainlink. So Chainlink is like a blockchain oracle project. So they build oracles for the blockchain on a hybrid smart chain. Hybrid smart contract. Sorry. Yeah. So Nest does the same thing as well. But I think definitely for every project, there is a little bit of difference, right? So, or maybe there's a major difference. So Nest as an oracle, what's the difference between Nest and Chainlink?
Well, let's mention about let's consider about the Chainlink first, right?
Yeah.
For Chainlinks, they get the price directly from some nodes, and they have to verify the nodes. They have to audit the nodes, right? Normally, the nodes come from some major exchanges. The price information come from the major exchanges, and these are the nodes, and they will take an average price of all these exchange markets to decide what is the price on Chainlink. So in this way, if you want to start a new token with the price information, you have to get on those exchange markets. That's very hard for some projects. That's true, right? And if you want to add some nodes to the nodes list, that also needs Chainlink to make audit.
Right.
So everything is not so free, but it's reliable. It's like we trust our governments.
Yeah.
We trust all these big exchanges, because that's what the trading taking place of.
Yeah.
So this is the basic idea of Chainlinks. All nodes have to pass the audit of the system. The price offering of any new price pairs also have to pass the audit. The price information of all the nodes come from off-chain informations. But compared with Nest directly verifying every price information on the chain.
Right.
It has a higher openness and transparency for everyone. So we were talking about the mechanism of Nest here. Like, we allow everybody to offer in the price information to the Nest system. But to offer in the price, they have to deposit some tokens. Like if they want to offering the price of AETH to USDT, then they have to deposit some ETH, and the value of the ETH and the USDT are the same. If the price of ETH these people offers are too high, then other people can trade with it. Right? They can sell a ETH to this contract, and took the USDT away.
Right.
But the people who doing this arbitrage and have to give the system a better price, I think is more proper. And everybody offering the price information have to stay for 5 minutes. It's more like people are trying to expect what the price is after 5 minutes, which makes the pricing information flow more stabilized, more reliable. And everybody in this 5 minutes can verify the price information. That is what we call verified on-chain, and everybody can verify it. Everybody can also offering the price informations, and the system will create new tokens to the people offering the price. That's what we call mint.
Yep.
So these are the two most important differences.
Right. So I think it's quite technical. So for those of so for some audience who are watching, or some users who are watching the live, right? So basically, as a node, you have to own a certain number of tokens to be verified as a node, and as a node, you do get rewards for keeping the network up. And nodes usually take a long time to sync with the blockchain because there's a lot of information on the node, and it has to load the whole blockchain before it can start processing new transactions or passing information through the blockchain itself. So and most projects do have an audit process. So like for example, in Chainlink's example, right, you have to pass the audit for the node, and then you have to pass audit for news price pair, things like that. So basically what NES is doing is to make things a little bit simpler and make it a bit more transparent, so everybody knows what's happening, everybody knows what's the prices that each and every other user is quoting for that particular currency or that particular token in that sense. So let's talk about NES 4.4. So NES is on version 4 right now. So is this the latest version of NES, or the latest upgrade that you guys are having?
Yes, that's the newest one.
Right. So maybe you can share a little bit about NES the current version of NES versus the last few versions of NES, because I do believe that projects must always have improvements. You cannot be just having one blockchain and staying there forever. So even projects like Ethereum, they are going through hard forks, they are going through upgrades almost every year. They do it once or twice. Even Bitcoin has some upgrades as well. So let's talk about the new upgrades or the new characteristics of NES 4.4 versus the earlier versions of NES.
Okay. The earlier versions of Nest, we just have a very little pairs of assets. The price for little pairs of assets, like ETH to USDD, and BST to USDD, and ETH to BST. Now, in the newest version of Nest, we allow everyone to start a price information flow and motivate price providers to mint any kind of tokens. In this way, we can have much more informations for more assets, right? For example, a project can set up the price pair of its own tokens to USDD and motivate others to provide price information by rewarding some tokens of this project. This is also mint by providing prices. In this way, any project can expand their minter group in their own ecosystem with Nest. And we have two most important improvements with this version. One aspect is the improved techniques, because in our newest version, we allow price offering for multiple assets, not just one pair of assets. In one smart contract, one can start the price information flow for more than, I think it's more than 10 or 20 different assets in this way. And in this way, gas fee can be saved handsomely. We have created a new data structure called a channel in one smart contract, which can contain much more information. The efficiency of uploading information is much better in this way. That's the technical aspect. That's another aspect is improve the economic models. Because quotation commission fee is cancelled. You can imagine this. And the quoting price for NES is also cancelled. As in the meantime, the mean production is also reduced to 1/6 compared to before. The number of the circulations increases slower than 3% per year. And in the long run, those changes will guarantee the increased value of Nest tokens. The total numbers of Nest will not exceeding 3 billions. And the threshold of price information offering is much lower. Now we allowing people just to deposit 0.01 ETH and the same value of the USTD to deposit it if they want to offering the price. That's the most two important aspects.
Right. So basically, you have an improved technique that allows multiple assets to be into one contract where you can save gas fees, right? And just before this stream, we were talking about gas fees on the Ethereum network, which is so crazy right now. I think
That's
gas
true.
fees is So I mean, if you're doing DeFi, right? So if anyone in the audience is doing DeFi, we all know that DeFi comes with us having to pay the fees ourselves. Unlike in the exchange, you don't get charged a lot of fees because the exchange takes in most of the fees, and they always give you free discounts and stuff like that. But if you're in the DeFi space, gas fees can be something that actually eats up all your profit, because depending on the chain you're using, depending on when you are doing all these transactions as well. So it can be pretty crazy at times. And then the other improvement is also the economical model, right? So I think you were saying that the number of circulation increase is going to be slower and slower, and you're going to have like 3 billion maximum supply, right, of tokens. Yeah. So for those of you that gotten the airdrop, if you want some more free Nest tokens, do stand by. We're going to have another airdrop very soon. But let's talk a little bit more about the DeFi space and Nest. So Nest protocol is so we all know Nest does the oracles and stuff, and you guys work with some DeFi projects. So maybe you can share with us well, what are the DeFi projects you guys are currently working with, and the type of DeFi projects that these guys are as well.
We have actually we have many projects working with us, quoting our prices, and we are expecting more projects will quoting price from us, because we have already canceled our commission fees and the quoting prices. Recently, we have a Cofix and the Parasets and the Fault protocol quoting price from us.
Right. So you have two protocols, right? How you're saying? Cofix and Paraset.
Cofix and Paraset and Fault.
Right. So these guys are currently, I think Cofix and Paraset is on the Ethereum network, if I'm not wrong. Is that, or are they like multi-chain right now?
Yeah, they are multi-chain.
Right. Okay. Just give me a second. So I'm just checking the chat to make sure that if someone's asking a question, we can just take a question. So someone mentioned Nest is going to bring something new to the crypto world. Yes, Nest is bringing the prices of assets into the crypto world. If you haven't been listening, I think you should tune in right now. But so let's move on to the next question. So let's talk about what is next for Nest. What is the future plan for Nest? Like every other project, there is I think some projects do have like a roadmap. So for the how about Nest? Like what's in the future for you guys? Or like as a protocol, as the whole team itself, what is the next 1 year plan, 6 months plan, or the next 3 years plan? You don't have to go into like detail like, oh, in the next 1 year we're gonna be this market cap, but more of like what people can look out for as Nest as a service provider, or maybe Nest as a protocol, because I believe that there are some people who are watching the live or watching the stream right now. They might be project owners. They might be looking to start their own project as well, which they might want to use Nest as a protocol to pull information off chain or even on chain itself. So what's the future for Nest?
Well, of course, we plan to develop our community, increase the number of our followers, and enhancing the ecosystem of Nest. Let more DeFi projects to quote price information from Nest, and also to develop Nest more public chains, to go to more public chains. The most important thing we are thinking about is in the future, we plan to introduce a new scheme that one need to pledge Nest tokens to quote the price information from Nest protocol, because in this way we create a need for all the projects.
Right.
It's just the idea for now. Furthermore, we will deploy Nest protocol on more public blockchains.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay. So you guys are looking to grow your communities. I mean, because I'm a guy that create content. So community to me is very, very important. And I think that every project must have a strong community behind them. So for those of you who are watching, Nest is currently on Twitter. Let me get your Twitter handles so I can Nest has a YouTube channel as well as Telegram. So if you are looking to follow Nest to get a little bit more and understand what Nest does, their Twitter is @Nest_protocol, and their YouTube is Nest Protocol. They do have Medium as well, if that is what you guys are into. So before we move on, we're gonna do another airdrop. So in this round, we are dropping I think 30,000 Nest tokens. So if you guys are not on the live yet, you guys should be sharing this live stream with all your friends so that they do get the tokens as well. So if you guys are ready, we are going to start the airdrop right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, 30,000 tokens. I got no idea how much our token price is right now. So like usually before, every time when I talk to new projects, right, it's quite interesting to see airdrops happening live, and then everyone's like, oh, how much is this? So like 30,000 Nest, let's see. I think that's quite a lot of money though, 30,000. Okay, that's almost $1,000. $1,000 of airdrop. Come on, guys, go pick your airdrops. So while you guys are picking the airdrops, let's talk a little bit more about the current market. Yeah. So yeah. I think this is something that everybody wants to hear from different people perspective, different projects. So there are some influencers, there are some traders that come on board and I speak to them. Everybody has their own idea of what the market is going to be like. And I don't think there is a right or wrong answer, because everybody has different experience, right? Right now, if you look at the price of Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin is not doing so well right now. Bitcoin is terrible. It's like 33,000 right now. So, and then Ethereum is like $2,400, 2,400. Yeah. So Bitcoin's at 33, Ethereum's at 2.4. So what are your current thoughts about the market? Like, do you think this is going to be like a short term? We're just going to be a bear for the next, 3 months, 6 months? Or do you think this bear season is going to last for at least 1 or 2 years? So it is not financial advice. Do not think this is financial advice. It's just your own perspective, your own thoughts about the market itself?
Well, in the next 2 years, I believe the American governments will increase the interest rates. In this case, the cash will be on shortage compared to assets. So basically, I think in next 2 years, we will facing bearish market more probably.
For the next 2 years?
Yeah, I think so. And many people are worried about what will happen to this market. I'm not worried so much because we can always making some contracts to earn some money, right? We can also get some in the bearish market. We can also make profits in short positions. The need for hedging also increases. As long as the trading are needed for decentralized finance, the price information is needed. Therefore, the oracle is needed. That's what we think about.
Right. So, Ricky, we got a question from the chat. So someone is asking, is really about the tokenomics of NES token, right? Is there a buyback and a burning mechanism for NES tokens? Will there be some like buyback or burning event, or like where you burn tokens, burn NES tokens actually? So is that something that will happen?
I don't think we have a plan to burn NES tokens. Not yet. But we have the maximum cap for the NES tokens.
Right.
As we have mentioned, so every year, just the 3% of new NES will be minted.
Right. So on that topic about burning, right? So that's how you mentioned that your mint production is it will reduce every year. So is it something like the Bitcoin halving, every 4 years, it gets a little bit harder to mine a Bitcoin. So you produce less Bitcoin. But in the case for NES, it's something like that.
That's the idea. Yes, that's the idea.
Right. So every year it's going to reduce by 3%. I think that's quite a substantial number. Just give me a second. I was just looking at your coin.
It's not reduced just 3%. Like the increase number will just as lower as 3%.
Right. So I think that is pretty good right now. So you guys are trading at like what, 300 million at a fully diluted market cap, 2 billion in circulating supply. So 3% is quite a lot of tokens up, slowly being released instead of just getting minted out from nothing, right?
Yeah. But 3% is almost like the interest-free rate.
Yes. It is. It's it's actually as high as inflation right now. I think inflation is super crazy. Okay, so let's just do one more question before we do the last airdrop and then we end of the live stream. But let's so you mentioned that in the next 2 years it's gonna be a little bit more a bit more bearish, or a bit more like a crypto winter, right? So I'm the kind of person that I'm hoping for 100,000 Bitcoin. I don't know whether it's possible within the next 2 years, like or in 2023, or maybe I think it will happen in 2024 because we are looking forward to the Bitcoin halving in 2024. So from your perspective, do you think it's possible to have 100,000 Bitcoin? Right now we are at 33,000. So if you are looking at this, it's going to be a 3x from today's price. I think it's going to be a very fun thing to do. I mean, if Bitcoin reach 100K in the next 3 years and we watch this video again, we're going to be like, oh, look at these two guys talking about Bitcoin hitting 100,000. Hopefully it exceeds 100,000 by that. So do you think it's possible to get Bitcoin to 100,000 in the next 2 to 3 years?
I can't tell for sure, right? Nobody have a crystal ball.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what things will happen in next 2 years. But the last 2 years, the world economy was getting impacted by this virus situation, and a lot of people get quarantine situations here.
Yep.
Maybe in next 1 years, maybe the situation can be improved, and the economy can come to life again. Nobody knows.
Right.
And maybe in some situations, people think the BTH is a very awesome asset to hold. Then the price will rise suddenly. That is also possible.
Yes, I think that is very, very possible as well. So okay, Ricky, I think we have to touch on one more last thing here. So it's really about audits, right? Because we talk about Chainlink having some audits. So for the case of Nest protocol, most of the DeFi protocols that we see out there always have like an audit to show that they're not a rug pull. They are not there to take money from people. So Nest is getting audited by PackShield. Is that right?
Yeah. We have been through the PackShield audit.
Right.
Everybody can. Yeah.
So if someone's interested to see how's the audit, they can actually check it on GitHub through your site, right? I think there's a tab that I saw just now where they can check your audit and stuff.
Yeah. Everybody can check on it. The audit report can be found on our GitHub website. Just simply search Nest on GitHub. It's very easy to find.
Right. So for all those that want to find out like what's the audit about, what was Nest protocol being audited for, you can go check out Nest protocol on GitHub. You're able to download. I think you can download the PDF to see the full audit report. So with that, let's do the last live stream. Let's do the last airdrop. So the last airdrop is gonna be 50,000 tokens, 50,000 Nest tokens. So if you guys are still on the stream, we have roughly 7,000 people here watching. So you guys get ready to get the airdrop and let's go. Okay, I'm gonna grab the airdrop first, yeah.
Yeah, go get them.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna start if you're gonna start having like a node system, I would want to hold some nodes. I think it's one of the best ways to get passive income, right? A lot of people come onto crypto to get passive income. Me as well. I think that is one of the beauty of having DeFi protocols, having crypto that allows you to make money, or not really make money, but generate another source of income. So Ricky, thank you so much for the whole session. I think most of us actually understand a little bit more about what Nest does. If you guys are still looking to find out what Nest is doing or what is coming up for Nest, do check out their website, nestprotocol.org. That is nestprotocol.org. So Nest protocol can be traded on the Huobi, right? So I think you guys are listed on Huobi as well. So if you get your tokens, do buy more. You might want to keep holding on to your tokens because it's going to get harder to get Nest token because it drops 3% mean rate every single year. So Ricky, thank you so much for your time. I think it was a great session.
Much,
thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, it is. I hope to visit you one day.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you guys for watching. For all those who are still on the live stream, if you haven't, do subscribe to the next few live streams that are coming up. And with that, we hope to see you on the next one, or I hope to see you on the next one. And good night, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.